Trending on Twitter, it's Kanye West. He's going to Washington. He'll meet with President Trump on Thursday. On the agenda, curbing Chicago violence and increasing manufacturing jobs here in Chicago. Now listen.
Okay.
Like, it sounds great, right?
Yeah.
It sounds good.
Well,
it
worked when Kim went. Remember Kim was able to get a woman exonerated?
It's sad when I have more faith in Kim than I do Kanye. It's a sad thing. Listen, it sounds great. It's just that Kanye is such like this wild card that you don't know.
Well, look at the picture.
You just don't know if it's going to be good, bad, or just something crazy that we're going to see on social media.
Yeah. You know, there is a rumor started by Kanye himself that he wants to put a summit together with Colin Kaepernick, the president.
Right.
Now, would it be interesting, would it change your mind about this if Colin Kaepernick were with him on Thursday at the White House?
It might would. It might would, or it might would change my mind if he was actually able to broker some sort of deal or conversation to where Colin Kaepernick can sit down with the people who have made these big decisions, and of course now he's not playing in the NFL, and actually can talk about the conversation from the man who started this whole thing.
I think the one thing that we have learned, love him or hate him, and that
Which him? Because we're talking about Donald Trump and Kanye.
I'm going to talk about Donald Trump for a second.
Okay.
Love him or hate him, and that people either do one or the other, right? The reality is you never know what to expect from him. And there could be a possibility that you see that happen on Thursday. And if that happens, then the conversation, the one thing Donald Trump knows how to do really well is keep us on our toes and keep us guessing. You know, what is he really doing? What does he really mean? What's really going to happen here? And if Colin Kaepernick shows up and they broker some kind of an understanding for the NFL, that's, you know, for at least the president's position
but
on
he's
this.
taken such a strong, the president has taken such a strong stance on this.
Right.
Colin has too. I mean, do you think there is any way that they can, that the president will bend any kind of way?
I don't know. He's besties with Kim Jong-un now. It's like the president, it's really important for the president to be liked. That is a very important thing to him.
Right. If Colin Kaepernick goes, oh man, you look great. Believe me, he's going to be all over. He's going to have everybody kneeling at the Super Bowl.
Right, but
let's
get back to Chicago for a minute, because remember President Trump, when he was running, said he could fix our violent problem, our violence problem, and our gun problem. And what did he say, 1 week or 2 weeks, he said? And we have not seen him, so maybe Kanye could invite the president to Chicago, and we can make some...
The president said yesterday, we should talk about that, because the president did say yesterday in his press availability that they're doing something in Chicago. When he was bringing in the new Supreme Court justice, swearing him in.
He wants to bring in stop and frisk here.
He wants to stop and frisk. There's one problem with stop and frisk, that the Supreme Court has deemed it unconstitutional.
Right,
so he's going to have to get past that, which I think he thinks he can. Right. But the point is that in Chicago, he says he's sending the Justice Department in, and they're going to fix this right now.
Yeah, but that's what he's saying. That's what he offered up as a fix, one of the fixes. And he was talking to the International Association of Chiefs of Police out in Florida, and he said, listen, New York used to have the worst crime ever, and this was unacceptable. And look what Rudy Giuliani came in and he did the stop and frisk. And of course, it was overturned by the federal court. However, he still is saying that this is a way to fix things. And I totally disagree here in Chicago. Police community relations are already strained. They're already bad. We don't need police officers just stopping folks just because they look like they're up to something. Right. That's not going to help the situation in Chicago.
Right. I mean, it's racial profiling at its worst.
Yeah.
You know, that's the issue.
Well, and the only way to actually effectively get around the Supreme Court here is to stop and frisk everybody. And how long do you think that's going to last?
And will they stop and frisk everybody? I think is even a bigger question.
And does anybody want that?
But if they have to do that, to get around it, I mean, what happens when they stop and frisk some alderman's kid or the guy, the chairman of Boeing's kid or whatever it is on the streets? That's going to change everything, right? And then people are going to say, no, we can't do it. Listen, the president does like single, it's an easy thing to say. It's a lot harder to do. And he hopes people forget about it.
Yeah. Well, speaking of politics and the president and some people who don't actually get into the spotlight when it comes to politics is Taylor Swift. But she's decided to change that view. She is, for the first time, taking a stance. Of course, we love Taylor Swift, but she says, hey, she's not voting like she would normally vote because she just doesn't agree with it. And so the question is, when celebrities get involved in politics, does it sway your vote? Does it make you want to go out and register to vote, or maybe not vote for a certain person?
Wait, hold on. Is one of her ex-boyfriends running for office? Is that? Did she write a song?
She was with a Kennedy for a while, wasn't she? Yeah.
Hey, listen, celebrities have influence, whether you like it or not. It's the reason why you see them pitching everything from teeth whitening on commercials to,
but
you know,
do we like
to your
that
cell phone.
influence in politics?
We have it, whether you like it or not, and it works. I mean, we saw what Oprah did, you know, for President Obama before he became president, and she had never really taken a strong stance for any politician before that. We saw what Clint Eastwood tried to do with the rocking chair bit.
That didn't work out.
It didn't work. It didn't work.
I don't even remember that.
Oh yeah, he was talking to the
chair up
there.
at the national convention.
Yeah, it was bad.
Oh yes, I do.
Yes.
I tried to forget it.
Yeah. Well, but the other thing too is Taylor Swift, the Swifties, right? I mean, that's really a 14 to 22-year-old.
Maybe a little older,
right there.
but yeah.
Maybe now it's getting a little older. But the majority of her fans are not old enough to vote. I'm not quite sure what message she's sending, except to maybe her contemporaries in all of this, and maybe to the other people in entertainment. But the other people in entertainment are already kind of there. So I don't think this makes much of a difference. And quite honestly, when celebrities tell me how to vote, I'm like,
it turns you off?
Well,
it might have an adverse effect.
I'm sorry to say this, and I apologize to the entire celebrity community because nothing ever goes right for you. But what do I care what you think, right? I mean,
well,
it's like,
if you're a fan of somebody and you're influenced by that person and they have an impact on your life, you kind of care what they think.
You've met a lot of actors and musicians in
well,
your life.
I'm old, but I'm talking about the young ones, the ones she's trying to influence.
Younger people are a little bit more influenced. Yeah, impressionable. But I agree. Like, I won't go see U2 in concert anymore. One of my favorite bands. But when I go see a U2 concert, it's basically venting about world issues too much. When I just want to hear, you know, Streets Have No Name.
You want to go see him
with or without you. Yeah, I just, like, for me, when I'm at a concert, I want to hear the music. I paid for a ticket, and I want to get away from all of my problems for 2 hours. But it's a little bit different when they go on Capitol Hill. We've seen many celebrities on Capitol Hill. We saw just Kim K did. I think they have a lot of influence, and that's why we keep seeing it happen.
I only want to listen to people's political advice if I trust them to drive my kids to school. That's it. If I don't trust them to do that, then I don't want to hear what they have to say.
All right.